Hi everyone and welcome. It's Wednesday, December 3rd. It's hard to believe that we're right smack in the middle of the first week of Advent, huh? And I think I could speak for all of us to say, you know this is going to go quickly. You tell yourself you're not going to get all into the rush of Christmas and all that craziness, and then somehow we get pulled in. And the only way that you and I can really experience Advent is by being intentional about it. But let's just remind ourselves of something. We're waiting for the coming of Christ, of course. But there are actually three comings of Christ. The first coming of Christ is on Christmas Day. We're waiting for the Christ child to be born. The second coming of Christ is at the end of time, when Jesus comes at the end of time, to save the world and bring it all together. And then, of course, the third coming of Christ is the coming of Christ inside my heart and your heart. And if you really think about it, that becomes really the most important coming of Christ. I mean, what good is it if Jesus Christ was born 2,000 years ago, and he's going to come again whenever he's going to come again? What good is all of that if you and I don't accept him into our own heart? And this time of Advent is a time for us to allow our friendship with Jesus Christ to grow. That's the whole reason for all of this. With all the gifts and all that, with our families and all that, it all comes down to celebrating, commemorating, and allowing the birth of Christ inside our own hearts. What a gift that is. And so Jesus, when you think about it, was born very vulnerable and very weak, in a manger as a little vulnerable child. What an incredible thing that our God would become one of us and become one of us in our weakness. It's a beautiful thing to really contemplate. And then he's going to come at the end of time, of course, in majesty. And it's going to be, whoa, when he brings it all together. But, it's also true that in his life, at the end of his life, as a man, he suffered horrendously out of love for us. And he allowed all that to happen. He was tortured out of love for us. I mean, what an incredible thing. But we got to allow that in our hearts, in our minds. We need to contemplate that and spend time with that. So really, this time really begs the question, just all of us to be honest with ourselves. It's a personal question. How am I right now in my relationship with Jesus Christ? Where am I? Am I allowing him the time that he needs and I need to just be with him and let that friendship grow? In our world, we're all about relationships. We're all concerned about our relationships with all these different types of people, and they're good. We're made for relationship. But what about the most important relationship, our relationship with Jesus? We have to be intentional about this, and it's not that hard if we just take some time each day and just be with him. Take 5 minutes in the morning, whatever your routine is, and just quiet down, get away from all that rush and be with him. And then do it again like around lunchtime. Sometimes I'll con myself thinking, well, I don't have time to pray around lunchtime. I got this to do and that to do. That's an illusion. We do have time. And often when I take 2 or 3 minutes at lunch and pray daytime prayer, what happens is I get more centered, I become more calm and more peaceful, and I get more done as I go forward. So take that time in the middle of the day, just say, yeah, I have time to stop for whatever, 30 seconds, a minute, and just reconnect with Christ. And then, of course, again, at the end of the day, in the evening, before we go to bed, we all know in 22 days, Christmas is going to come. It's going to come and it's going to go, and it's going to happen quickly. The deeper question is, am I getting my heart ready for Christ? Am I opening up my heart for Jesus? Because I said a moment ago, what good is it if Jesus was born into this world if we don't allow him to be born into our own hearts? It's all about having a personal friendship with Jesus Christ. During this Advent season, let's ask God to give us that grace we need to open up our hearts. As the song says, let every heart prepare him room. God bless you.